Fun fact, if I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you dead spark out. I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. I am him, the man. You're a classless loser.
I broke Jake's jaw.
His teeth look a bit removed as well.
Yeah, his teeth have come out of place. But credit to him, he done well. But I told him what was going to happen.
I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit.
After Anthony Joshua delivered a commanding 6th-round knockout against Jake Paul, longtime rival Tyson Fury didn't hide his reaction. Known for his sharp tongue and fierce opinions, Fury seized on the result not simply to acknowledge Joshua's win, but to reignite the simmering feud between the two British heavyweights, reminding fans that while AJ handled Paul inside the ring, the bigger question still looms. When will Fury himself finally step up to settle the score in their long-anticipated showdown?
Fury's as serious as he thinks he is, and he wants to put down his Twitter fingers and put on some gloves and come and fight one of the realest fighters out there that will take on any challenge. Step in the ring with me next if you're a real bad boy. Don't do all that talking, AJ this, AJ that.
Joshua's win, streamed to millions around the world on Netflix and dominating sports headlines, marked a momentous return to form after a 15-month layoff for the former 2-time world heavyweight champion. But as much as the result was a statement from Joshua, Tyson Fury's immediate response, both before and after the fight, has underscored a simmering tension between the two British heavyweights that now threatens to boil over into 2026.
There's nothing's been signed yet, but Tyson, he's indicated that if it's the right deal, he'll definitely do it. So I think it's going in the right, as I just said, going in the right direction, and hopefully we'll get some news pretty soon as to what's going to happen. He's been very good. He's been working very hard the last few months. He's had a lot of projects, including his Netflix series, Meet the Furies, the second series of that. He's got a documentary he's also filming. He's doing a lot of PAs as well, so he's been very, very busy. He's enjoying himself. But he's been in the ring full time. In the gym full time, training very hard, and he's in great nick. He looks well, and I'm sure. And he said on many times himself he would like to come back and fight again. And 2026, I believe, provided the deal's right, I think you'll see him back in the ring again. If this fight happens, which I believe it will, if it does happen, it will be sometime in late summer. So Tyson, that's another sort of what's at the moment, it's another 7 months away. So he'll certainly have a fight in between, I think, if he comes back. The fans have been asking for this, and everybody's been talking about it for years and years and years. It's better, if it's going to happen now, than rather these guys come back and talk about doing it in 5 or 6 years' time. It's a fight that, anybody who I talk to about boxing, that's the one thing they always mention. When are these two getting it on? Are they ever going to get it on? We never got to see it, etc., etc. It will happen. I think it will happen, and I think when it does happen, I think...
Ring Magazine posted, Fury versus Joshua is closer than ever. Anthony Joshua's win over Jake Paul has set him on a collision course with Tyson Fury. The rivalry between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury has become one of the most talked about sagas in modern heavyweight boxing. For years, fans have clamored for the two British stars to finally clash, with promoters calling it the biggest fight in the sports world and one that must happen to settle long-standing debates about who truly deserves heavyweight supremacy.
Fury?
I'm not going to disrespect Fury, Gareth.
I want to fight him though, Jack. We want to see you fight him so much.
Exactly. I think I deserve it, the fans deserve it, you deserve it. It's such a shame that the guy decided to retire. He should grow a backbone. You win some, you lose some.
Do you beat him?
Yeah, definitely.
All day long, yeah?
100%. So do you know what day it is today?
Saturday morning.
What comes after Saturday?
Sunday.
Many in the boxing community weren't satisfied with how the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight played out. Even though Joshua eventually won by 6th-round knockout, critics argued that the bout never felt like a competitive sporting event, with Paul spending much of the early round circling, clinching, and avoiding meaningful exchanges rather than engaging in classic boxing action, leading to boos from parts of the crowd and fans calling the matchup a clown show online.
Such a bad look overall for the sweet science, the sport of boxing, which, cannot get out of its way anyway on a regular basis. What we saw in there, I don't think anyone ultimately looks good. It was theater. It was sloppy. It was gross. It was unnecessary. I'd love to say my favorite sport is better than this, but I think we know that already. I think the bigger question is how much more can the rest of us tolerate the Jake Paul circus?
What was so deflating about this is even though we, in a sense, got the outcome that most people tuning into this fight were here for, which was to see Jake Paul get knocked out, it was the worst version of a Jake Paul knockout loss that we could have asked for. There isn't some sort of highlight reel moments like the Ngannou knockout where Anthony Joshua just...
Joshua openly admitted that his performance wasn't perfect and said he needed to do better, acknowledging that he and his coach expected more from his early rounds in the ring. AJ explained that Paul's evasive movement and scrappy tactics made it difficult to pin him down. But once he found his range, he was able to finish the job decisively. Despite the criticism, Joshua also stressed that his main goal was always to win and hurt his opponent when the opportunity came, and that getting the knockout in the 6th showed he adapted as the fight unfolded.
Broke Jake's jaw.
His teeth look a bit removed as well.
Yeah, his teeth have come out of place. But credit to him, he done well. But I told him what was going to happen, but it just took 6 rounds to do that.
People will criticise you for going 6 rounds with Jake Paul. How do you feel about that?
I deserve it.
Why? Come on.
Because, like, we're elite fighters. Like, so I put myself in the shoes of a coach. If I was coaching Anthony Joshua and he went 6 rounds with Jake Paul, I would get him back in the gym tomorrow, give him a bit of a beating, and we're getting straight back to work, because I'll be like, how are you letting this kid take you 6 rounds? Are you crazy? In boxing, there's a time when you systematically break someone down and you see their soul leaving their body. And after a period of time, 2 things start to happen to them. Either they give up or they get knocked out. And there was a bit of a mix. I said to myself, I'm not gonna knock you out. I am gonna systematically punish you round after round. And like, I wanted it to be slow and methodical. I swear, it might have dropped down now. And I just kept on hitting him. Sorry, go.
All right, you hit me as much
I
as you like.
hate you for everyone in England. I was hitting him. I kept on hitting him. And I could see I had that mentality where I was like, do you remember in the press conference I said, he's Iverson and I'm Jordan? And I was like, I'm going to just keep breaking him down, because he was elusive.
Michael Bisping hasn't labeled it a classic in the traditional boxing sense. His commentary highlighted the mismatch and concern over the level of competition rather than praise for the quality of the bout. Bisping, a former UFC champion turned commentator, publicly questioned whether Jake Paul would ever want to step back into a boxing ring after facing the far more experienced Anthony Joshua, underlining the physical and psychological toll such a fight can take on someone with far fewer professional rounds to their name. Rather than focusing on whether AJ looked sloppy, Bisping cautioned against underestimating how dangerous the sport can be when mismatches occur, showing more concern for the risks Paul faced and expressing respect for his courage in agreeing to the bout.
I don't know where to start with this, okay? Was it a classic? Was it a fight that you've definitely got to go and watch? I can't say that it was. Listen, first of all, they both stepped in the ring. They were paid $92 million. They both get to go home to their families, and no one got injured. No one's dead. No one's going to the hospital. They're both fine. Apparently, Jake Paul claims that he's got a broken jaw, spat a little bit of blood out, right? But the fight itself wasn't anything to remember. It really wasn't, right? Anthony Joshua was a little sloppy. He was tentative. He took his time. He said he was trying to break him down, look for the shots. And maybe it's because he'd been out the ring for 15 months, okay? And last went up against Daniel Dubois. Or maybe it's because he felt like a bit of a bully going up against Jake Paul, but he didn't seem like he really had...
Former world heavyweight champion David Haye offered a respectful and appreciative take on Jake Paul's performance against Anthony Joshua. Haye acknowledged that Paul faced an extremely tough challenge, stepping into the ring with a vastly more experienced and physically superior opponent. He pointed out that despite the size and experience gap, Paul executed his strategy using movement and elusiveness to make it difficult for Joshua to pin him down, which showed a level of ring intelligence and resilience that deserved credit. Haye emphasized that while Paul didn't win, there was something to respect about his willingness to compete, take big shots, and last into the later rounds against one of boxing's elite.
It was an awkward night. You know, AJ couldn't get to grips with him, obviously. Jake had a really good game plan, moving his feet, lateral movement, slipping and sliding. Obviously, been practicing that a lot in sparring. And you got to give him credit. He came out there and gave it a good go. Took his licks like a man, didn't complain. You know, fighting a much bigger, more established, world-class fighter. So that's usually what happened. What was always going to happen. You know, a lot of people thought it would only last 1 round, 2 rounds, but you know, you got to give Jake credit. You know, he went out there and had a solid game plan and was implementing it at times. Was landing shots and was avoiding getting hit with the big shots. You know, but there's a reason we have weight categories in boxing, and I'd say he sticks with, you know, the cruiserweight division where the guys are the same size as him, because that, you know, without having the schooling, the many years, I was able to give away 100 pounds in weight because I've been boxing since I was 10. I was an international amateur and world champion at cruiserweight. That's why I was able to do the big jump and use the tactics that he used to win the heavyweight championship. But you know, credit to him, nothing but respect for Jake Paul for putting on such an event and putting himself in harm's way.
I would imagine some people back home for you are going to say, man, AJ should have gotten out of there in 2 rounds.
No, anyone who understands boxing knows it's very difficult to close the range on someone who doesn't want to hold his feet. And is AJ supposed to just run around swinging and missing? No, he's supposed to, you know, wait for the right opportunity, which he did. And once the opportunity presented himself, he landed and the fight was over. But yeah, anyone who kind of gives AJ stick because he didn't knock him out.
Former undisputed heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis weighed in on Anthony Joshua's 6th-round knockout of Jake Paul, giving a blunt and analytical reaction to the bout. Lewis noted that Paul wasn't in great shape for such a massive step up in competition and admitted that once Joshua's power started landing, Paul ended up sitting there waiting to get hit. Lewis also highlighted Joshua's long layoff, suggesting that AJ needed a few rounds to shake off ring rust before fully asserting his dominance. Though once he did, the outcome was inevitable.
Jake Paul had his hands down.
Yeah.
He was basically waiting for that knockout.
Absolutely. And where is the Tyson Fury Joshua fighting happening now?
Yeah, it should happen. I think it should happen.
Who wins it?
Lennox is the best.
Oh, don't ask me too soon. It's too soon for that, man.
Excuse me, Lennox. I'm sorry.
I miss you, Lennox.
Hey, what's going on,
up,
buddy?
Man? Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
Just let me know your thoughts on Jake going 6 rounds with AJ.
You know, the fact that he did that, it was good because, you know, we didn't think it was going to go 6 rounds. We thought it was going to go 2. So the fact that he made 6 rounds is an accomplishment for Jake Paul.
Was there anything that stuck out with you from the fight?
Yeah, really, who was in better shape? I thought that Joshua was in great shape compared to, you know, Jake Paul, because he was running around the ring.
You guys gotta walk,
and that takes out a lot of energy, especially when you're not used to it.
We
gotta keep going, guys. Excuse me.
Him going 6 rounds in terms of someone like the stature of AJ should have maybe gotten him out of there early?
Well, that's what we wanted to happen, but we have to look at what was going on in AJ's life. You know, he was out for 15 months, so this is like a little warm up for him, and he needed it.
Do you look good to you, AJ? In your
for being out 15 months? Yeah, you know, it looked all right.
Fans had a very mixed reaction to Anthony Joshua's knockout win over Jake Paul. Some celebrated Joshua's power and dominance, calling his eventual KO glorious and praising his patience as he wore Paul down before finishing the fight. Others felt frustrated and bored by the slow early rounds, with social media users saying the bout looked rigged or staged because Joshua seemed to hold back and Paul spent much of the fight circling and avoiding exchanges. A day before the fight, Tyson Fury publicly fired back at Anthony Joshua after AJ's controversial remarks about the fight with Jake Paul, calling Joshua classless and mocking him on social media for using aggressive language to promote the bout. Fury didn't mince words, questioning Joshua's decision to hype the fight against a YouTuber turned boxer and pointing to Joshua's age and recent career setbacks as reasons his comments felt out of place in the sport. Fury's tone was sharp and dismissive, even joking that if he ever faced Joshua himself, he'd knock him out, reinforcing his criticism and skepticism about Joshua's build-up strategy. Fury's reaction added another layer of drama to an already highly charged pre-fight week.
They sent a video of Anthony Joshua talking about if he kills somebody, he kills somebody in a boxing ring. I think, you know what? He's a little bit long in the tooth to be talking shite like that. He's 37-year-old at the end of his career, fighting a YouTuber, a Disney Channel guy, who Tommy beat. And now he's talking about killing him and all that to try and sell. Please. Barking up the wrong tree, idiot. Here's a fun fact. If I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you dead spark out. I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. I am him. The man. You're a classless loser. Coming off a 15 months knockout defeat to a local lad. Imagine if someone from Morecambe knocked me out. You big bum, useless tosser. Get up, and I can't wait if Jake Paul knocks your spark out, you big bum.
Anthony Joshua didn't back down after Tyson Fury publicly criticized him for the aggressive language he used about Jake Paul in the build-up to their fight. Instead of retracting his remarks, Joshua stood by the mentality behind them, explaining that combat sports demand a ruthless mindset and that fighters must be prepared for extreme physicality once they step into the ring. He emphasized that boxing is inherently dangerous and that the license to kill comment was meant to reflect the intensity of competition rather than actual malice toward Paul. Joshua clarified that while he hopes every fighter leaves the ring safely, the nature of the sport requires total commitment and focus on victory, underscoring that he wasn't speaking personally against Paul but describing the mindset fighters carry in elite competition. The Joshua-Fury fight has been discussed for years and is widely regarded as one of the most significant potential heavyweight bouts in history. Promoters and experts argue it would be a blockbuster clash with massive global interest thanks to the contrasting styles, personalities, and star power of two of Britain's most famous heavyweights.
Joshua versus Tyson Fury at some point in 2026. But I think for Joshua's side of things, he's looking at this, going in for this, let's just say, warm-up just to get rid of a bit of ring rust against Jake Paul. Then he looks for a fight again in February sort of time, and that might be a Tony Yoka sort of level sort of fighter. Tyson Fury is rumoured to be coming back and fighting Arslanbek Makhmudov.
Yes.
That's the fight that they're talking about him coming back with.
Beat Dave Allen recently.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, Jim. What route does Anthony Joshua take? Does he look at that Tyson Fury? Yeah, the financial rewards are with Tyson Fury, of course they are. Or does he follow his dream of becoming a three-time world heavyweight champion? And that could fall in the space of Fabio Wardley, who has openly said that was the fight that I would like next if I was going to defend my title.
Spencer's on the money there, Simon, because Fabio is saying he would, quote, happily welcome an all-British fight for his WBO heavyweight belt with Joshua. What kind of warm-up fight is that for Joshua before he goes in against Fury?
I'm sure he would, because that poor bugger keeps on getting diminished everywhere he turns. And now he can't get a fight with Usyk because Usyk thinks he's beneath him. So he needs to get paid to some extent for being a world champion. And Anthony Joshua guarantees him that. I think that's a whole raft of problems for Anthony Joshua. Fabio Wardley, irrespective of the fact that his background is whatever and he hasn't fought at this level and Anthony Joshua has, blah, 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 I think Fabio Wardley would knock him out. So I don't think he takes that fight at all. I think he takes Tyson Fury.
See, no, so...
Do you think Wardley knocks out AJ Spencer?
This is where I'll disagree with Simon, because I think that Anthony Joshua's looking at this saying, yeah, Tyson Fury's saying he's coming back. We don't know when he gets out of bed, what side of bed he gets out of, whether he's going to return, whether he's not going to return, whether he's going to retire, stay retired. Everything that Tyson Fury says is that he is staying retired. For Anthony Joshua's point of view, he sees a little opening here, and he sees a little opportunity. He goes, where I could get another crack at a world title. Whether he wins or loses that against Fabio Wardley is a different conversation. But he may say, let me fight Fabio Wardley, and if I come up trumps and I win the world title, the Tyson Fury fights.
Eddie Hearn has repeatedly said the bout must happen and that both fighters want it, viewing it as a defining fight for both careers. Anthony Joshua didn't waste time turning his attention back to his long-running feud with Tyson Fury, boldly signaling he still sees himself as the one to finish the unfinished business between them. Joshua called on Fury to put down his Twitter fingers, step into the ring, and fight him face-to-face if he's serious about competition, challenging the Gypsy King to let their fists do the talking instead of social media messaging. In other comments, Joshua has even suggested he'd be ready to lay Fury flat and prove who's superior in the heavyweight division, showing confidence that he could stop Fury if the two ever finally met.
Fury, I'll be over the moon. Would you? Yeah, of course. Would you like to? Yeah, of course.
Are you friendly with him?
Not really. But I respect what he's done.
I think he called you a dosser.
Yeah, but...
That's his standard term of abuse.
Yeah.
You big dosser.
Yeah.
He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He is a businessman. I am a Spartan.
Yeah. Have you got one of those fully Tyson Fury dolls? No, I'm joking. You must like him, though.
What makes you say that?
Because you can memorize every quote of his.
He's very quotable, isn't he?
He is, to be fair.
He's got that distinctive...
Like he's eating a frog voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you could beat him?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be easy, though.
No.
The bookies, I think, would favour him.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Was this fight a disappointment? Let us know in the comments below.